All right, question number 5. We have a GeoGebra composite function. Usually these GeoGebra are graphics that allow you to input open-ended response. So this one wants us to write two functions f and g so that f of g of x is equal to negative x squared. Neither function is identical to f of g of x or x. Okay, so that means we can't use the same function or we can't use x. So usually one of the easier things to do when we do this, when we do composition of functions, is just to think about two functions. There's an inner and an outer function. So if I think about the squared as the outer, I could have a something squared, and then whatever's on the inside, that's my other function. So usually I would say, okay, g of x would represent the inner function. That's what we normally plug in, and that would be x. And I can make this one, just x squared. So I can just say x squared, just plug in the x, it's the same thing. But they're telling us not to use that. So you can do this a number of ways. It works out the same. So I'm going to give you two different ways. One, we can just manipulate the exponents or the powers. So I could say that f of x equals to, I can just say that this is x to the fourth. And then I'm going to say g of x equals to the square root of x. So what happens is the square root of x, that's the same as saying x to the 1/2. And when you do half of 4, when you multiply those, you get 2. So this is one possible combination. There are multiple. I would recommend just using something that will divide or reduce. Now I have a negative x, so I need to put I need to make this negative. Would it work if I did it like this? Just having a negative on the outside and plug that in there. I think it would work. Another such way would be to just divide, use division to get there. So I could say that f of x is equal to x divided by 2, and I want to just make sure I'm multiplying by 2 on the other one when I plug it in, so I can say g of x is equal to, we will just say 2x squared, and I need that to be negative. So when I plug this in for x, it will divide out. So this is one that I believe will also work. Let me make sure, because if I can make that negative, I can't do a negative. I wonder if I made it negative here. No, if I raise negative here, raise it to the 4th power, it will cancel out. So let me try this one first. I know this one will work. Let me try this one because I want to show you that there's several ones that can work. I'm going to put the negative on the outside, and then I'm going to say x raise it to the 4th. So me putting the negative on the outside, telling them to plug the x here, and then it's going to make it negative at the end. G of x, we wanted it to be the square root of x. Okay, so we're going to check. It says incorrect inverses of each other, so we can also work inverses. So maybe they don't like the negative there. So let me just go ahead and use the other example. You can use any numbers, like there's tons of them that work. I wanted to try to use one with powers. But inverse would be the ideal, the shortcut that they're thinking. So we can just say x divided by 2, and we can say a negative 2x squared. So this one should definitely work with just dividing. So they show you that one, and then they plug it in. I thought sometimes they might show you some other options, but there's several, so you just kind of pick and play with the functions. But going backwards, giving you a composition of function, can you decompose it and find two pieces?